YouTube viewers. Good morning, Facebook Nation. Good morning to everyone, all people, all races, all languages, all colors. Good morning to everyone. Beautiful day. And for everybody that wished me a good morning today, thank you so much to everyone. And as well as, wanting the videos. So, that makes me happy that, this message is getting out. Not just to people my age, but the person that came to me today was someone who's younger. So I'm glad that I'm able, Hector. I'm glad that I'm able to put information out here that you can use, that you see in your everyday life, to allow you to be the best, and allow all of us to be the best people that we can be, in the situation we're in. So today we're going to discuss the issues that go along with being more than one person. So today's topic is, are you more than one person? Then you must also know where your stress comes from. So before we start, click like, subscribe, share, and the playlist is topics on everything that we go through in life, and just other ways of looking at the situation that you might be in, and things that you can use. So, and starting out with my beginning, I had to say don't use this because it doesn't apply. So again, today's topic is, are you more than one person? Then know where your stress comes from. Okay, to answer this question, to answer these questions, we need to ask ourselves these three very important questions. Number one, am I the same person all of the time? Meaning that you don't change no matter where you are. You're that same person. You keep the same face, your standards, your morals, everything. You are who you are no matter where you are. That's number one. Number two is, am I aware of when I act differently? So now for the first question, if you know that you're not the same person all the time, are you aware of when you change change who you are in order to fit situations? Okay? And then number three, am I willing to stop? Meaning for the question of number two, are we willing to stop in order to achieve the number one question? Are we the same people all the time, no matter where we are? Okay, so first we have to understand that most people will say, okay, well, if I'm not, or if I do, if I am that person all of the time, no matter where I am, no matter what situation, no matter, even if I'm by myself, most people feel a vulnerability, or they might feel that it's weak. I'm going to prove to you here on this show that that is not weak. It's far from weak. In actuality, it is where your true strength lies, within your subconscious, because your subconscious is who you are. And that's also how you should want to be understood. Okay? So, being ourselves does not make a person weak or vulnerable. Being looked upon by others in various ways does. And allow me to explain this. Say, I'll use myself as an example. Okay, so I have a friend, and the friend that I have, views me as like the ultimate person, the ultimate good guy. Okay, then I have my friends who, they think that I'm too quiet. Now, my wife, I'm not married, my wife happens to think that I'm a jerk all the time. Okay, and the people when I go to the gym, they look at me and they think that I'm the most hilarious guy that there is. So, all these attributes are found within me, being used as an example, but all these different people are in me. So there's nothing wrong with being of multiple personalities. Variety is always, a good thing. And for each one of us to have variety, that's what makes us unique to who we are as people. However, for each one of the individuals that I encounter, going back to using the example, in my social circle, in my family, and in a professional manner, views me in different ways. And I'm going to show you how, morally and as far as values wise, they see me in a different way. So no one person sees me as the same because I'm multiple people all the time. And I heard someone who had posted on social media said that, I don't consider a friend if you go and tell another friend something that I said, because I don't tell, people, I only tell certain people my business. Now, I want to hold on to that, and I want you to hold on to that, because what you're going to hear explained here is going to explain why that's a dangerous situation to be in. Okay? So, to answer the question, now we have to look at us. We have to ask ourselves, who is the real me? What do I stand for, and what am I willing to accept? So if we're various people around different people, going back to the last statement that was made, then each one has a different perspective of who you are. Each one sees you in a different way. So by say one day you stand on something, you say, you know what, I don't think that this is right. Now, remember, I'm going to use me as an example now. I say that I don't think it's right at the gym, and then the people in the gym start looking at me in a different way, because they thought that, hey, what does he care about? He's always funny. He's joking all the time. So, I don't like the person that this is now. All right? So now we go to the family, say, okay, well, I don't like the way that I'm treated here. So now it's like, hey, well, you act this way around this one acts this way around this one, and then you want us to treat you, in a different way and tell us what you like and what you don't like. Okay? So now you're being treated in a different way as far as dealing with family. And these are added stress to your life. Now, okay, we go to the friend, the one who thinks that I'm too quiet. Now, the same thing happens. I say, hey, well, I think that, this was unfair, and I think that, I'm going to go down there and I'm going to stand with those people in solidarity. Now, your friends who you've been quiet with for so long, they're like, well, hey, he never gave an indication that he even cared two craps about, this. I feel some kind of way about this guy now. So, you see how these stress relievers come in by us putting on various masks, because everybody watches everybody. This is why it's important for us to only watch out for ourselves, because when we do this, we control the environment around us instead of the environment around us controlling us. Again, going back to that statement, you will never have to have a friend come back and say, hey, well, you told this person, that person, or, on your job, or, I told you this in confidence. Why would you go back and, affect my job in this way? By being who you are all the time, when things like this happen, whoever you're dealing with, they understand that it's wrong, and they know that who you are as a person, that you're willing to walk away from. You're willing to switch jobs. You're willing to, cut things off in order to save your peace of mind. Because, again, what am I willing to accept is also what am I willing to give. So if you know that you're a giving person, then you don't need people who are going to constantly come into your life and cause you stress. Whether it be a physical relationship, we're in them, and then we have to say to ourselves, be stuck. So by being multiple people, now we can go back into a marriage. By being multiple people, what if my wife is a freak? You know what I mean? But I only see her in one way, because this is what she's always presented as being in one way. But now, later, years down the road, she's like, well, let's try this or let's try that. And I'm looking at her strange, and I'm saying, wait a minute, you might be having an outside relationship. When in fact, there is no outside relationship. So, you're seeing stress that is caused just by something of just simple things that should have been caught from the very, very beginning. If you make a decision to be with someone, or make a decision or choice in anywhere in life, then we need to be completely who we are. So by being who we are, we can continuously understand. Because the greatest weakness that a person has is to say, well, you act this way around your friends, but you don't act this way here. So again, you're never allowing these things to even come out of a person's mouth. And then, even still, once you are aware of who you are as a person, when a person says that, they know that you'll never talk to them again. Because they know that what they're saying is meant to hurt you, because they understand who you are as a person. So they know what they're doing is an intentional infliction of negativity that's being cast on you, no matter who it is, no matter what the relationship. And that's where your strength comes in, because it says that, hey, I care about me, and I want to be treated this way, and this is what I stand for, this is what I want, this is what I want to present to the world. And I can go through this world. Remember, we came into the world alone. Now let's go back in. So now we understand that when we use that the third part of the first questions, am I willing to stop? So when we say stop, and when we use this word stop, it means that in order to live your best life, always to be the person in which you are, at all times being authentic, all times being authentic. And there's a viewer who subscribed, then she didn't subscribe, but she came back, and I'm happy she's here. But I want to say this, but I'm not going to use her name, but she said something that to me was so key, that in the beginning, when I met this woman, I respect intelligence. I respect it to the ends of the earth. I love knowledge. So this woman happens to be a very knowledgeable woman. So I have to understand that, the way of the world is that, most people, when they interact, there's always something that you want. And so for someone to say, hey, I think that, you're a smart individual, I like to, get to know you if I can. They're not seeing that. They're seeing the role that the society has been playing, which is, wait a minute, this person, wants to get in my pants, and, this is how this person is seeing me. But the thing was, the person was so honest. She was like, hey, before we even start this, I wanted to say, hey, I only see you in this way. And, most people will feel like rejected from it, or feel some kind of way. But no, for actuality, I was so happy. It kind of turned me on, because I'm like, this is what's supposed to happen all the time. Save yourself the stress, save yourself the drama. So to that viewer, you're already applying, this stuff. And that's why, when to see someone stand in that sense, it says, hey, this can be a good world. This can be a better world if we had, more people, being honest and always being upfront and being comfortable. And that's the key. This person is comfortable in who she is. So, I think that that's awesome, and that's what we all want to be on that page. To be the best person and be the best people that we can be. So, knowing what your morals and your values represent in your life in this way is the way that we must always be understood, because you only have one life, and what we're seeing nowadays is that, there's a program, an algorithm that has most of people thinking in a selfish way, that you can't be yourself. Some things you have to keep to yourself, and then they got shows, and then they got radio stations out there, and then they got media on the news that sit there, and they propagate these type of ideologies, when in fact, we have so much within us. It's just amazing. So, again, these things cause stress by us being many people. So, answer that question within yourself, because this is where change comes from. Change comes from us, the individual, changing ourselves, the way we look at life, and the way that we understand our morals. Because if we live sound morals and sound values, then it's equality for the world. So if we don't have that now, then we're seeing that, there's a majority of people out there who embrace that division, that chaos. And, I just want to leave you with food for thought. If the world is really, really trying to get together, then why did they break apart unions? You know, when we were growing up, you had, you know, so many different unions. You had a union for everything because if something happened to one person on a job, it affected everyone. So realize, you know, how division is breaking you apart and making you singular. But it's our morals and our values that we stand for that brings us together as a whole. So, and that starts out with the individual. It starts out with us, meaning I. So, you know, today, you know, make it a point that when we go out into the world, we start everything with I. You know, because when we start with I, then we become we. All right. So, you know, again, thank everyone for, you know, the awesome good morning that I got today. You know, I'm always happy to go out and say good morning to people, but to be able to come to you, you know, and you can sit in your home or on your phone and I'm saying good morning to you, you know, that brings me the greatest joy because it says that we really are in this together. And it doesn't take a pandemic, it doesn't take an epidemic, it doesn't take a catastrophe or an atrocity, you know, to bring us together. What should bring us always together is love for one another because we all have to share this planet. So with that, everyone, have an awesome day, have a beautiful day, and peace and blessings.
Ooh.